Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and today is Thursday, which means it's viewer question and answer day. This week's question comes from my friend Frugina, who also happens to be an excellent event planner. Frugina was asking, what should people bring with them to an interview? Well, it just so happens I have a checklist of all of the things that you should take to your next interview. Number one on my list, of course, would be a pad of paper and pens. Ideally, you would have something called a pad folio or a portfolio in which you would have your notepad. These are usually leather-bound type of portfolios, but they don't have to cost you a lot of money. They're a great resource for holding a lot of the things that you would need on my list. Next, make sure that you're bringing extra copies of your resume with you. So a good benchmark is to have at least as many resumes as people that are going to be in the room. So that includes you. But you never know if you get called into an impromptu second or third round interview. It's great to have some extra resumes on hand. In addition, I usually recommend that people have business cards at the ready. So these wouldn't be necessarily your work business cards, but business cards that you have for your job search. In addition, make sure you have your references or your reference list available with you in your interview. It's not necessary to give this to the interviewer unless they ask, of course, but if they do ask, it's really good to have them at the ready. Another good idea is to have your cheat sheet ready with you. So with all of the wonderful research that you would have done on the organization, make sure that you have notes on this research information, some facts, some figures, and that sort of thing, just so that you can maybe have a quick read through of this information in your cheat sheet before you actually go into the interview itself. In your pad folio, you should also have your list of questions that you want to ask the interviewer. Not only will you be able to check off any questions that were answered throughout the interview, but you'll be sure to remember any other questions that are important for you to ask. Now my next two line items, actually you could probably have these in your mobile phone. So the first one is a map. I would recommend, in addition to using your mobile phone, having a paper version of the map. In the event that you lose connectivity to your mobile phone on your way to the interview, having the backup paper map is going to really help you out. And the other thing that you may have already in your mobile phone is a calendar so that you can keep track of your schedule. If you happen to be asked when you're available for another round of interviews in the current interview, it's great to have your calendar ready and handy for you to be able to book those next rounds immediately. Of course, it's really vastly important that when you're in the interview itself, don't answer your phone, just turn it off altogether as soon as you enter the room. First impressions can make or break your interview experience. And one way to really ruin a first impression is bad breath. So a great thing to bring with you to an interview are some breath mints. This way you can make sure that you're minty fresh and not chewing gum in the interview. We also know that interviews can be really stressful. And one of the ways that our body reacts to stress is something called cotton mouth. So basically, our mouths will dry out. A great way to help alleviate this symptom is to drink water. So that's my next checklist item, is bring a bottle of water with you to the interview. And finally, you're going to need something to put all of this wonderful stuff in, and so that would be a bag. Now, I know there's some people out there who wear backpacks, and I get it. If you've got a medical reason for it, have a really bad back, by all means, please do. Otherwise, ditch the backpack. Having more of a briefcase style or even a messenger bag looks a lot more professional than the backpack. And it's usually much less cumbersome to get things into and out of than, say, a backpack. So that's my checklist of the things that you should bring with you to your interview. If there's anything that I've missed on my list or anything else that you would recommend people bring, please leave it in the comments section below. Thank you so much, Frugina, for this great question. If you have any questions of your own, please feel free to reach out to me, or if you have any video ideas or would like to collaborate, I'd love to hear from you. You can, of course, reach me via email, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. And for personalized advice, please check out my website, I'd be happy to help. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy hunting!